Most people wake up every morning and immediately begin to think in the past. They remember who they are, where they live, what they've been through, and they unknowingly recreate the same reality again and again. But what if I told you that wealth and happiness are not things you chase, but states of being you tune into? You see, your brain is a record of the past, but your mind, your conscious creation, is the architect of your future. And if you want to become wealthy, if you want to become truly happy, you have to stop living as the effect of your environment and start becoming the cause. Today, we're not just going to talk about success. We're going to rewire the way you think. Because when you change your thoughts, you change your feelings. When you change your feelings, you shift your frequency. And when you shift your frequency, reality has no choice but to meet you there. So take a breath, feel into the unknown, and get ready to remember who you really are.
Most people live their lives reacting to what they see, what they hear, and what they feel. Their inner world is dictated by the conditions of their outer world. When the environment is stressful, they feel stressed. When money is low, they feel lack. When circumstances don't go their way, they feel powerless. This is living as a victim of reality, not a creator of it. But the truth is, if you want to change your life, if you want more wealth, more joy, more fulfillment, you must become greater than your environment. That means you cannot wait for success to feel successful. You cannot wait for the money to feel abundant. You must think, feel, and behave ahead of the evidence. This is not about pretending or faking it. It's about memorizing a new internal state so completely that your body believes it's already living that future. When you're no longer reacting to your current reality, but instead responding to a vision in your mind, you're stepping into the quantum field as a creator. Your environment might still reflect your past, but you're no longer entangled with it emotionally. You are teaching your body to live in the future, to feel freedom before you're free, to feel inspired before the breakthrough, to feel wealthy before the wealth comes. This is the science of transformation. And when the environment no longer controls your thoughts and feelings, you're free to create a new personal reality. The moment you overcome the familiar emotions tied to your past and begin living with intention, with elevated energy, with clarity about who you are becoming, you shift your electromagnetic signature. That signal interacts with the quantum field and begins to attract new events, people, and opportunities that match who you're being, not who you've been.
Every thought you think is a signal you send out into the field. It's electrical in nature, a broadcast of your conscious intention. But that thought alone is not enough to create change. For manifestation to occur, it must be paired with an elevated emotion. That emotion is magnetic. It draws experiences back to you. Together, your thoughts and your feelings form an electromagnetic signature that communicates with the invisible intelligence all around you. Most people think positively, but still feel doubt, fear, or lack. That incoherence sends a mixed signal into the field, and as a result, nothing changes. To truly create, your thoughts must be aligned with a matching emotional state. If you think, "I am abundant," but you feel unworthy or anxious, you're broadcasting lack. The universe doesn't respond to what you say, it responds to who you're being. When you begin to think greater than how you feel and align that thought with an elevated emotion like gratitude, love, or inspiration, you enter into coherence. That coherence is the key to signaling a new possibility into reality. It means you're no longer defined by your past or the conditions around you. You're now living from a place of inner alignment, and your body begins to believe that the future you're imagining is already happening. The longer you sustain that state of being, the more you condition your body and mind to this new reality, and the more powerful your signal becomes. The field responds by reflecting back experiences that match that signal. Not out of magic, but because you've shifted your frequency to a new level of consciousness. The more clear and consistent that signal is, the faster the feedback loop from the field. This is how you begin to draw new outcomes to you, rather than chase after them.
Most people are conditioned to believe that they need to see the evidence of wealth before they can feel wealthy. They wait for the bank account to grow, the opportunity to arrive, or the promotion to come before allowing themselves to feel successful, grateful, or abundant. But this approach keeps them locked in a cycle of waiting because their emotions are still being controlled by their current reality. To attract wealth, you must break that cycle and begin to feel abundance before it physically appears. This means creating an internal state that no longer depends on what's happening outside of you. The moment you begin to feel truly abundant, before the money shows up, you've signaled to the field that you already have it. And because the quantum field responds to who you're being, not what you're lacking, it begins to reorganize reality around that elevated energy. The challenge is that the body has been conditioned to feel emotions like worry, frustration, or scarcity for so long that abundance feels unfamiliar. So at first, this process might feel unnatural or even false. But with repetition and intention, you can reprogram your body to memorize what abundance feels like. Gratitude is a powerful gateway because when you're grateful, you believe something has already happened. By waking up each day and embodying the emotional state of wealth, you are no longer looking for it, you are becoming it. This internal shift changes your behaviors, your decisions, your posture, your energy, and your perception. You begin to see opportunities where before you saw limitations. And when your body is aligned with the emotional signature of your future, you stop acting out of desperation or fear. You start attracting circumstances that reflect the wealth you've already chosen to feel, long before it arrives in physical form.
The body is more than just a physical machine. It is a storehouse of emotional memories. Every time you think the same thought and feel the same emotion, you reinforce a neural and chemical pattern. Over time, the body becomes conditioned to feel a certain way, stressed, anxious, unworthy. And those emotions become so familiar that they turn into the personality. In fact, the body begins to run the show. It becomes the unconscious mind, reacting automatically to the same triggers, making the same choices, and repeating the same habits, all without conscious thought. This is why people wake up feeling the same as they did yesterday. If you want to create a new life, you have to teach the body what it feels like to live in the future you're designing, not the past you've memorized. That requires going beyond the familiar emotional addictions and installing new feelings that match the vision of the life you desire. You may have a clear intention in your mind, but if your body is still anchored to fear, guilt, or scarcity, it will pull you back into your old identity. To break that pattern, you have to become conscious of those emotional reactions, interrupt them, and replace them with elevated states like inspiration, confidence, and love. Meditation is a powerful tool for this work because it allows you to slow down, observe the programs running in the background, and rewrite them intentionally. As you repeatedly choose new emotions, you begin to recondition the body to a new mind. The body starts to believe it's living in a new reality. Over time, the unconscious becomes conscious, and you begin to act, think, and feel as the person you intend to become, instead of who you've always been. That's when true transformation begins.
Your personality creates your personal reality. The way you think, act, and feel on a daily basis forms the blueprint for the life you experience. If you want to create a new destiny, a future filled with greater wealth, deeper happiness, more fulfillment, you cannot do it from the same mindset, emotional state, and habits that created your current circumstances. Most people try to change their lives without changing themselves. They set goals, read books, and look for external solutions, but they never truly examine the internal architecture that drives their behavior. The same thoughts lead to the same choices. The same choices lead to the same behaviors. The same behaviors produce the same experiences, and those experiences reinforce the same emotions. This loop becomes a predictable identity, and without intervention, it's nearly impossible to break free. To step into a new future, you have to become someone else in thought and feeling. That means letting go of the old story, the beliefs of not being good enough, the emotions of guilt or fear, the habits of procrastination or self-sabotage. You must begin to mentally rehearse a new version of yourself so often that the brain starts to rewire itself as if that future is already happening. The body begins to emotionally experience the life you're creating, not the life you're leaving behind. As you repeatedly think and feel in alignment with this new self, you install a new personality, one that is worthy, empowered, clear, and intentional. From this state, new choices become natural, new behaviors become automatic. The external world starts to mirror the internal changes. It's not about achieving from the old mindset, but becoming the kind of person who effortlessly attracts the life they desire. A new personality will always lead to a new personal reality when lived consistently.